Please join me in welcoming Jackie.
Well, it is an absolute pleasure for me to be here today. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming, and all of you who are watching online. I want to start off this presentation with asking all of you some questions. And in order to answer these questions, you're going to use your body. If you're holding a coffee right now, I ask that you just carefully put it under your seat, just temporarily. Thank you. All right, so when I ask you a question, if you've ever experienced what I've asked you, even just once in your life, nice and easy, all you're going to do is put one hand up in the air, all right? If when I ask you the question, you've experienced it twice in your life, you're going to put two hands up in the air. And the third way, if you have experienced it 3 or more times, it can take a little bit more energy, but you're going to stand up, you're going to put 2 hands up in the air, and if you have the enthusiasm for this, you're even going to go, woo! And those of you online, what you can do is if you've experienced it once, you can type in yes. If you experienced it twice, you can write yes, yes. If you experienced it 3 times, you'll yes, 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 and it'll be like when Harry met Sally online. Have a little yes, yes, yes. And I thought I'd like to have some good leadership techniques, some team building games that I could do with them. So I took some Second City courses. On my very first day of Second City, there were 17 of us in the group, and we all had to take turns introducing ourselves. And I was third from the end to go, so I had a lot of people to sit through and be in my head about it. And so I remember people were introducing themselves, and I was in my head. I wasn't paying attention at all to who these people were. I was thinking, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? And by the time we got through, halfway through the group, I had this thought, oh, what if there's some type of name game after, and I haven't been paying attention to this? So that started creating even more stress within me. By the time it got to be my turn, you can let me know with a raise of hands or writing yes. If you've experienced this before, but by the time it got to me, I had one of those annoying eye twitches. Have you ever got those stress eye twitches before? And one a lip quiver. I had both of them going on. I had the lip quiver going on. I had the eye twitch going on. I blurted out my name and why I was taking the class, and then I went beet red. I was beet red, and I was exhausted from what I just put myself through. Have you guys experienced that before? Yeah. So I said to myself at that point, Jackie, this is ridiculous. It's time for you to get over yourself. It was one of those moments in my life where I know it was a turning point for me. And it was the most perfect timing because now I was enrolled in improv. And when you're doing improv, you have to trust that whatever comes out of your mouth, you can deal with it. And you have to trust whatever comes out of someone else's mouth, you can creatively deal with their stuff too. And so while I was doing these improv activities every week, my fears would come up. My fear of failure, my fear of the unknown, my fear of judgment, they would come up and I would need to walk through them. And I was walking through my fears as I was laughing and as I was playing. It made it so much more enjoyable. And what I was also doing is, at the same time, I was creating strategies for myself to change my thought patterns. Because my thoughts were creating my stressed out reality. And what I didn't realize at the time is that I was teaching myself emotional intelligence strategies. And so after I finished the first 10 weeks, the 10 weeks of this first level, I was addicted to improv. I was addicted to laughing and playing every week. But I also felt like I was changing. And after I took the next level, I took all 5 levels of the Second City program. And by the time I finished, I used to tell people, I'm a different person. But what's more accurate, what I know is more accurate now, is just simply to say, I was more of me than I ever allowed myself to be before. I was so much more confident in myself, so much more trusting that I could handle whatever was going to be thrown at me. And maybe I wouldn't handle it in the most perfect way possible. And I know I would still potentially make mistakes, but I saw those now as opportunities to grow, opportunities to do things a different way next time, opportunities to learn. I was so much more easier on myself. And it ended up relating to all areas of my life. It ended up enhancing my relationships in the workplace, my relationships at home, and it also ended up giving me the confidence and courage to be able to quit my job and to help other people to be able to experience the same decrease in stress and increase in happiness level. And so today what I want to share with you are some emotional intelligence strategies that leaders have the ability to create harmony within their relationships, within their work environment. So that's what resident leaders are. So individuals with high emotional intelligence tend to be better at doing that. They tend to be more resilient. So when obstacles are going to happen, because obstacles happen, they're more likely to be able to deal with whatever they're facing, move forward, find a way to make it work. They value others' opinions. So they value what other people have to offer. They're going to be more open to diversity in opinions, diversity in the way things can be done. They're also more likely to be able to listen to people's wants and needs. They're better at empathizing or identifying with each other. They tend to develop healthier relationships. They can better deal with obstacles. So if something does happen, there's more likely that they're going to be able to get on the horse again, get right back, deal with whatever situation is affecting them, and be really creative in the different strategies. So open to opportunities. And they also tend to have higher productivity.
And I was doing a provincial championship game.
And I was chewing on this pen.
And I stood up and my hands were shaking so badly.
About halfway through the game, I was in my umpire's position ready.
And I started walking around the street, and people were like staring at me.
And I couldn't actually place my fingers on the keys, and there was this silent moment.
To call a pitch, and it was a ball or a strike, and all of a sudden I bent down, and
Finally, I got home, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh my God, my face was covered with ink.
So there I was standing on the stage with my fingers not on my saxophone and everyone looking at me.
Oh!
and that's when my pants split.